Hey guys, it's Ryan, and I'm here in the kitchen with Guillermo. Guillermo is a hot sauce maker. He makes a fermented hot sauce, and he's going to show me how he does it. The name of your hot sauce is
Aji Feroz, yeah.
Aji Feroz. What does that mean?
Like a fierce hot sauce, something like that, yeah.
So basically, we're going to put together the sauce and see how it's made here. So let's get started on it.
Yep.
So how big of a batch will you make?
At the end, it's gonna be like around 4 liters, 3 liters of, between 3 and 4 liters of hot sauce. Yeah.
And how many grams of peppers?
Like at least a kilo of, like 2 pounds of each one, of the rocoto and the criollo that we call, because the other one is a small quantity, maybe 200 grams in total from the raton, but that's the one that gives it a lot of the flavor. It's pretty good. 3 different kinds. Yeah, these are rocotos. This is actually like really interesting because this is one of the few peppers that have first the black seeds inside, and then that grows in the mountains here. Like it's not like a normal pepper that usually is from a hot weather, hot, humid. These ones are like Andean, from the mountains. That's why we like using it, and we like the flavor that it gives. A sweet, really fruity. This is like the most common one here that we call ají criollo. This thing you can find all over in every market. And this is called ají de ratón. This is almost exclusively grown in Manabí. And Manabí is one of the few places that they have like a good tradition with hot sauces here in Ecuador, from my perspective at least.
The garlic is a little different than...
Yeah, this one is called ajo macho. One issue that we have also, like that's why we call it like small batches and things like that, because it's hard to get like somebody that is completely reliable with these things, and it makes sense, right? Like it's things that you're growing, and they are like subject to a whole bunch of variables that people can control sometimes. And garlic especially is tricky because it dries the soil a lot. So yeah.
So how does this taste different than the...
It's a little bit milder, but also this one is agroecological. So that what we try to always use is agroecological produce. So that's something that is key for us, right? Like to support that way of growing things and like being a part of it. Like this is not just like a profit-oriented thing. Like of course we wanna for it to do well, so a lot of people can try it, but like also is a way of like supporting these producers that are like, I don't know, producing things differently, with a lot more conscious about where they are and the impact of their things. So this is more common because it's less, I would say, violent or rude with the soil. But you don't see it a lot because it doesn't grow like a head of garlic like the other ones. It's just like this thing, so it takes a lot more space, so it's not common to grow it commercially. I don't want to waste any seed. There's a lot of flavor and a lot of, yes.
So the seed is the spiciest part, right?
Yeah, like that, the seed and the pit, like that white part, that's the part that is where the capsaicin is.
The pit isn't bitter?
It can be bitter, I would say.
Yeah.
But it's also where the hotness is, like that's where the capsaicin is most concentrated than in the other parts. So that's why we don't take out the pit. Achieving this recipe was like a lot of trial and error. So
yeah, how many batches did you have to make to get what your recipe is?
Yeah, like at least 10 liters of different tries. Yeah. We used to do it in those crystal vessels that you see, but like they're really small. So we got this, my brother sent it to me from Scotland. They are like developed for kimchi, but like you can easily use them for fermenting other stuff. Yeah.
which of the three peppers are the spiciest?
I think I would say these ones, the small ones. Like the rocoto is pretty strong too, but the small ones are, and they are super tasty too. Like they have like this acid flavor to it that is key to the thing, to the recipe. I think I grow some of these peppers. Like sometimes I can do batches that I can get like enough criollos and rocotos for my own garden, I would say. But the ajís raton is super hard to get. I don't know why. It's super hard to get to adapt here to Tumbaco. Most of the raton that we use is sent to us from Manabi in big batches, like maybe a pound or something. So we have to froze them sometimes or just dry them. Next step, it would be like, I guess, the raton. Let's see. So, yeah, so I try to choose the ones that have the best color, so I can like reinforce the color of the red color of the ají. But usually the ones that are super red are the ones that are super close to being done. So
it starts at yellow?
It starts like this, yes. That's how they start in the plant, and then eventually they turn red, and that's where you are supposed to get them. But like, I guess that people just they get whatever the plant is giving. Some of these might look that they are like kind of like the other side, but like that actually helps the fermentation process. Like there's already bacteria there that is making their thing. And like, yeah, also like using the glove was also a lesson that I had to learn the hard way.
Have you ever made it without the gloves?
Yeah, at the beginning, and then you just like, I don't know, forget, and you touch your face. I don't know, like rub your eyes, and then you remember. Yes. For instance, this here, like this small one, this is not raton. Sometimes they call it charapita. They are smaller and they are like rounder, I guess. But those I don't use in my ají, but I'm gonna try them out this time. Like, see how they go with other sauces, because we're always making. We have two main products, let's say. The other flavor that we have is with passion fruit, with maracuya, the juice of the maracuya. So those are the two recipes that we have always available, right? But then we are always making like special sauces that we just do small batches of them. So for instance, this time of the year, that is mango time, we also do sometimes chiles with mango. We try to be like using what we have, right? Like what we can get easily, and what the producers are using, so are producing, so we can also provide like an outlet for them, right? That's the idea. And I don't know, and this is something that I have no evidence of, but like I always feel like the bigger these ratons are, the worse flavor. So I try to pick the small ones, but like that's also super tedious. Yeah, so at this point what I do is I add the salt and sugar. The salt keeps the bad bacteria away. We use brown sugar since from the beginning, so.
And you like the brown sugar for the kind of earthier taste, or?
Yeah, and it's supposed to be healthier, I think, and also it gives a little bit of like dark color to the ají.
Do you know on the Scoville scale how spicy your sauce
No.
is? It's kind of hard to measure that, I guess.
That's super hard to measure, especially here. Like, and it's that thing, from what I know, is like a really subjective scale.
So how would you compare it to, I don't know, any sauces that we would know? Have you ever had like Frank's Red Hot?
Yeah, the first Red Hot, yes, I've had it. I would say it's a little bit more spicier than that. A little bit more spicier than Tabasco.
Okay.
Tabasco is also fermented. Like, They don't call it fermented, they call it aged. But it's a fermentation process that happens. The thing is that they cook it, they pasteurize it after the fermentation. So when you get the bottle, you get kind of the taste, but you don't get the bacteria that you are supposed to have. That is the good thing about fermenting, right? Like other than the taste, you're ingesting all of these healthy bacteria and healthy microorganisms and yeast that is supposed to make you, improve your health, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep. That's salt and sugar. The next are some of the secret spices. Hibiscus flower. That's one of the secrets. I'm not gonna divulge all of them, but that's something that is super hard to think about producing in mass, because I kind of have to see and feel each flower to see how much I put, right? And each flower is different, so.
So what kind of taste, what does that add to it?
It adds acidity for sure, color, and it has also an antibacterial quality, but it gives a lot of color, and that's something that is really nice. But it has a taste. Hibiscus is good, it's super acid and fruity, and kind of dry, so it works well with the sweet peppers. Yes. And then the next step is usually I add water, and that is kind of different every time, because it's kind of what kind of water I can get my hands on. I try to get some water to the night before. I leave it out so it gets the chlorine out. But if I haven't found that is super important for the taste, it takes longer when I use tap water because of the chlorine.
The chlorine kills off some of the bacteria.
It kills the bacteria, and they take a lot longer to develop, right? So yeah, that's the whole process. I have to add the other spices.
So the secret spices?
The secret spices, yes. But that's it. I think that's most what it is. And then I just cover it and check it every day. And kind of the garlics are the good indicators of when it's done. Fermented garlic turns blue or green when it's already in a good place, flavor-wise. Then I just process it and give it a cold chuck. They call it I put it in the fridge, in the freezer.
And that stops the fermentation?
That stops the fermentation process a little bit, yeah.
So how long does it usually take to ferment it?
It depends, but I would say that at least 10 days, that's the minimum. Mostly 2 weeks is kind of the standard.
After it's all done fermenting, you'll strain it?
I strain it and I keep the water. And I start doing the processing, usually in the blender. And then I see, it's all about the senses, knowing the sauce, how much water it needs. So I keep adding water. And then the water that I have left, I have a little bit here to show you.
You add the water that you
of course.
fermented in. Yeah.
And then I keep it, this for marinating meat or for putting in scrambled eggs or something like that. It's delicious. It has a lot of the spices and things that is concentrated there.
So it's like a brine.
Exactly, it's a brine. Yeah. A really good brine. Yeah.
So where do you sell it?
I sell it mostly in fairs. I go to a fair maybe once a month. I sell the bottles there, but also we already are in a couple of stores, stores that they sell artisanal and natural stuff, because it's, as you saw, the thing turns out vegan, raw, and it's also fair trade in some sense. We don't claim the label of fair trade, but that's the spirit also. We have developed relationships with the producers directly, and I try to grow my own stuff. So stores that value those kind of things, right? And a couple of restaurants too that I sell by the liter, that they like it, and yeah.
Okay. How about trying it now. Can I try it?
Of course.
Yes. This smells really good. You smell that fermented funk.
Yeah.
I love that. It's really good. It's like smelling something fruity.
That's the ricotta.
Yeah. It's almost like pineapple-y. Yeah, there's a burn to it. I'm starting to sweat a little bit. Yeah, that's really good too. That's good. They're both really good. I'm gonna have a little bit more.
Yeah, when I checked the cost, I was like,
Oh, that's expensive.
ay, rolling flex in my ear. You a fucking ock, you weird. Which way I'ma steer? Know the bags of money be near, but you don't really see it till it's here. That's all I do since I was 17. Cutting up tofu. All you lame soft don't speak. Fucking I don't know you. Yeah, get run through by my team. Dropping them hits like Blitz. I bought my cheese like Ritz. Fuck a vacay, don't trip.